So welcome to the node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for January 3rd, 2024, the first of the year. Before we get started, does anybody have any announcements that they'd like to share? Okay, if not, we will move on to the issues that were tagged for the agenda. And I guess for us, in terms of the CPC and board meeting updates, I think with the holidays, there's no updates on that front either. So looking at the first one is inconsistent behavior of next tick and queue microtask. That is 51156. I know there was some discussion in our meeting before the last of the year. I think there was really it was kind of an FYI and an ask for people to get into and discuss in the issue. So I don't know if there's anything more to discuss. Does anybody have any thoughts on that one?
Do you know if it is a regression or it's a pre-existing condition?
It's an existing, this is the current behavior is what they're basically saying, could be better. But I think it's also known that it may break a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Any other questions or thoughts on that one? Okay, maybe we'll leave on the agenda one more time and see if when we have maybe a larger group, if there's thoughts about whether we should do anything or just take it off the agenda and let people discuss in the issue. The next one is enable core pack by default 50963. I'm just looking to see it was added by Yagiz. There's definitely discussion ongoing in the issue itself. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts or things they want to discuss this week on that one, but in terms of enabling it by default. Oh, I see Roy has his hand up.
Yeah, my thought on it is just that this issue came up right before the holidays. I think we should definitely give some more time for folks to discuss. I personally have been on PTO since then, so haven't had the time to check at all. So yeah, I think if we can have more time on that, I appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. A lot of sense. Okay, anybody else have anything else on that one?
I guess I'll just comment. It does seem that the issue sort of started off talking about making core pack enabled by default and then went off on a tangent about NPM. And we know that NPM are reluctant to have NPM managed through core pack. And I almost feel that's a separate issue from enabling core pack by default. So either can happen independently of each other. But I think it's kind of, I guess, as more time is given for this for discussions, I think it'd be good not to conflate the two issues, because definitely having NPM enabled in core pack is a more contentious issue, I think, than potentially enabling core pack for the other package managers that we don't already ship in Node.
Okay. I guess the one question would be like, you know, what's the long-term goal related to that, right? Like if the long-term goal is to have the managers have Corpac manage the installation of package managers for everybody, then that's one thing. If it's just like, hey, it's another way in addition to having NPM bundled in. So I suspect that part of it is what makes the conversation start up when you talk about enabling it by default. Okay, any other comments or thoughts on that one? Okay, if not, let's move on to the next one, which is lib promote process binding tick callback to runtime deprecation. I think this one, it's been on the agenda for a while. There is some discussion. And there was definitely a proposal. I'm trying to see where that proposal is because it's not easily, is that in the TSC repo?
It's 1482 in the TSC repo.
Okay, let me just find that. Because Joy's put together some proposal there, and I think that's where people, if we could jump into. All right, 1482. Basically, there's some different options outlined there, and the ask is for people to jump in with their opinion of which way they would prefer to go. Okay, so we'll leave that one on the agenda for now, and unless there's any other thoughts or discussion on that one. Okay, the next one is nvar node v8 coverage intermittently causes process to hang. This is 49344. And I think Matteo mentioned in the last meeting that there has been some progress on that one.
I think Chenzong opened a PR, but it wasn't clear to me whether it is confirmed to fix this issue or whether it's speculated that it might fix this issue. So there's this PR 51290, which I think is related to this.
I just put that in the minutes.
That comes from that comment, which is another issue which we think is probably discussing the same hang that was in the one that we're discussing from the agenda. So it seems that we had more than one report of potential hangs when the node is shutting down.
Right.
And we think they're all related to the finalization registry.
Okay, that would definitely be good. Okay, so seems to be moving along. Anything we need to discuss this week on that one?
I guess the PR needs some reviews if people have time and knowledge. Past all the CIs, so the question is, whether people are happy for it to land.
Yep, that would be good if people can take a look at it. How complicated is it? It's actually not huge, but anyway, yeah, people can take a look. Anything else? Okay, if not, the next one on the list is the Events Collaborator Summit for 2024. I don't think there's anything new on that. We don't have the people here who we're discussing, so I don't think it's firmed up or anything. But it was basically a heads up that, hey, this is a working towards co-locating with the City JS Conf London. So think about that, plan for that, hopefully. And still the more general question is if there's any events or places that would make sense to co-locate in North America, because we often want to do one in North America and one in Europe. But a real update on that one. Anybody else have anything to add to that one? Okay, I'm going to then quickly look at the strategic initiatives, but I don't think there's going to be any updates this week. Yes, Picnic 10 is the only one we have champion here for, but there's no updates. So that takes us to the end of the agenda. Is there anything else that we have that we'd like to discuss this week? Okay, if not, thanks for everybody's time and welcome to the new year. And we will see everybody in GitHub and next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.